Hi, my name's Shirley Martin. I live in Vienna, Virginia. I am going on 97 years old in 2 or 3 months. I've lived here all my life except for maybe 3 years. Our family was very close. We lived with my aunt and uncle. My aunt took care of us during the day while my mother ran her business. My father and my uncle had the Wagner Brothers garage at the corner of Maple Avenue and Center Street. And my mother had an ice, coal and wood business where Air Hill ended at that time, which was right across the bike path at the Old Dominion station. She's worked sometimes 14 hours a day. She would come home for dinner and then go back and work on her books or do whatever it was that she had to do. And then when the war was over, her business went down and people weren't using coal, they were using oil. They weren't using ice, they were using refrigerators. So she started selling Maytag washers and fill gas stoves. Vienna has changed completely since I was growing up. Everybody knew everybody else. If I did anything wrong, my mother knew it when she came home. So I didn't do a whole lot wrong. There was no traffic. The traffic was nil. I mean, it was, I don't mean that we didn't have cars going through, but it wasn't anything like it is now. There wasn't anything here in those days. I was small change when I was growing up because I was very small for my age. I had friends with mostly boys because there weren't too many girls my age in town. My sister was very serious and I was anything but. I was a tomboy and I was outside most of the time. Mother would let me use the adding machine and the typewriter, and then there was a creek right behind the office. And I spent a lot of time in that creek catching tadpoles, and I loved it. I thought my childhood was wonderful. I hadn't made any plans to go to college at all. My mother had always insisted that I take a business course because she said that anybody who had a business knowledge could get a job, which was true. But I hated it. I hated typing. I didn't mind shorthand so much, but I finally made it and I graduated in 1942 with my class. That summer is when my mother decided that she was going to send me to Madison State Teachers College because she wanted to get me away from a boy I was going with that she didn't like. And then when I came back, I had a job working at Cherry Smash in Roslyn. And I worked there for a year, and then I met my husband, and we met on the 1st of June and got married on the 28th of July. We were married 54 years. 52, I went to work for the telephone office there in Vienna, which is where John Edwards is now, beauty shop. I worked a split shift from 10 to 2 and then go back at 7 and work till 11. And I loved it. But then I got pregnant. And you could only work till you were 6 months along in those days. My oldest son was born in 46. My daughter was born in 47. My next son was born in 53. And my youngest son was born in 59. I'm very proud of all of them. I think just when my kids were growing up is when it was most memorable. I spent a lot of time with them when I should have been doing housework, but I felt that that time was well spent. And I don't mean that they were spoiled rotten, they weren't. They were spoiled but not rotten. I'm the only one left in Vienna. I got involved with the American Legion when my husband was still alive, and we would go up there for dinners. I joined the American Legion Auxiliary in the last part of the 1900s. I make the gravy that we serve on the biscuits.
Yeah, I'm just going straight for the bacon.
So I never made large amounts of gravy until I started doing it for the Post.
Wonderful.
Let it go for a little bit and then I'll stir it some more. And then when I get through with that, I'll go to actually making the gravy itself. I know it without getting half the grease out. I make 3 gallons every Sunday that we have the breakfast, which is once a month. Get the sausage up here in the other end and let the grease drain off of it. I do it in 2 days. I don't do it all in one day. If I have to make just 1 gallon, which is what I'll have to do this time, takes me about an hour to do that.
Is there a secret to this gravy?
Yes, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. If somebody else takes over from me, I'll tell them exactly what I do. We pay for girls to go to Girls State, and that's what pays for it, along with some help from some of the other organizations in the town. I'm 97 years old in a few months, and it's getting a little harder, and each time I don't know when I'll quit completely. I'll just play it by ear. I love Vienna. I loved it then. I have never wanted to live anyplace else.